It's frustrating sometimes, but.
All
right, let's start it. It's 7 o'clock.
Yep.
Yay. Yes. Yay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a short introduction in Finnish and then in English. Tervetuloa kaikille CoolHead Talk Show episode 1, joka siis tietysti tehdään englanniksi, koska tämä on kansainvälinen paneeli. Minä olen Anikó Lehtinen ja juonnan tämän paneelin. So, welcome everybody. This is CoolHead Talk Show episode 1. I'm Anikó Lehtinen. I'm hosting this panel. I'm a beer journalist and, well, the chairman of the Finnish Beer Consumer Union. And we're going to talk about, the episode 1 talk show is all going to be the current situation. And we're going to have some international panelists here with us talking about the situation. And this is actually good about the corona because we can find this alternative way to contact with each other. Because without this situation, I don't think this panel would be like this. Actually, it would be really different because at the same time, there should be a beer festival at Korjaamo in Helsinki, so we probably would sit there to do the same panel. But, well, we can live with this option as well. We have 3 panelists. We have Cleber from CoolHead Brew. Hi, Cleber.
Hello, hello. So I'm the founder of CoolHead Brew. Been doing that for 4 years already.
Then we have Marton from Hungarian mad scientist beer. Tell me about yourself a little bit.
I'm a really big fan of Cleber and Oli, so that's why I got invited. Actually, I'm just a fanboy here, but yeah, I represent Budapest, Hungary, Mad Scientist Brewery. We've been running for 4 years now. The other guys are the scientists, and I'm the mad guy. That's why I'm here. So.
And then we have Sudden Brewing and Ollie.
Yeah, hi, my name is Ollie. I'm attracted to the mad guys always. That's why I like mad scientists so much. Also, CoolHead, really good brewery. Love them. Yeah, thank you for having us. We are Sudden Death Brewing from Northern Germany, and we are entering 3rd business year right now.
Wow.
And we brew rock and roll.
And we can actually start. I mean, everybody's interesting. I mean, everybody is seeing that we are drinking beer at the same time. Mm-hmm. So you can introduce your beers. How about Cleber? What are you drinking right now when we're doing this panel?
Well, I started drinking Verdun, actually. It's what I'm still drinking here. I had a big can. It's a new beer from them. The window is accusing the door of abusing the wall. I think it comes from PN, and we have that for sale there in Panama. And I'm drinking that on our new glass that is going to be released next week.
How about Ollie from Sudden Death Brewing? What are you drinking?
I started off a little bit easier. Juice Willis Pale Ale, newest batch from ourselves. But yeah, I was just in for some pineapple juice.
And Marton?
So I'm about to finish this really nice Pilsner from our good friends, Beer Basters from Bulgaria. Love those guys, love to support them. And it's always nice to drink your own beers. So that's why I have a new can of liquid cocaine here. But I was like, can I say liquid cocaine? It's a beer.
Too late.
And I think this is YouTube, so I think you can say anything.
Wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, I just entered the chat.
So yeah, I wanted to start really slow and mellow. This has been another crazy week, and yeah, it's another Friday. But as we discussed this during the little warm-up session we just had, the rules of our ancient world is just gone, and there are no Fridays and no weekdays anymore. It's just
It's just Fridays all over the place.
Exactly, every day. But I believe in this industry, apart from coronavirus, it can be true that every day is a Friday, and every night can be a Friday night, and it's really up to you. What I'm saying is that the old rules are not valid anymore, and this is why we have this conversation right here and not at a beer festival, because the world is changing in a really rapid and fast way, and so does the craft beer industry, because the craft beer industry has always been the kind of industry that has the capability of shifting just really, really quick. But then I realized that I haven't finished my first beer and I already talked too much, so I'll just shut up.
But that's actually a good start, because in this panel, we're going to talk about this current situation. And like Marton said, that the whole old word is kind of gone. Before we start the actual conversation, I tell all our YouTube followers that you can ask questions, and you can ask them by using the YouTube chat. And then we have Alexi, who's our social media manager, and he's going to pose the questions to us. So feel free to ask questions as well while we are doing this conversation. I think Ollie just got bored and just left.
One gone, two more to go.
Yes, but let's
Sorry.
no problem. Let's start actually. Like Marton said, the old world is kind of gone.
Yeah.
But if we warm up with the questions that, for example, how has your work been changing? If we think about this situation right now at the brewery or with the brewery, what are you doing differently?
Well, on our case, basically we didn't know what to expect of this crisis. I guess everyone was taken by surprise by that. We found ourselves on the beginning of the crisis with 300 kegs of beer packaged, fully stocked for spring. We had in total was about 30,000 liters of beer in stock, just waiting for a pretty good spring to start. And then Corona came, and the kegs are there sitting on the stock, probably will be. At some point, we'll be forced to throw a bunch of them away. We got a bit lucky because, we managed to get our beers in S Market, which is one of the biggest chains here in Finland. They were very nice because they had originally decided not to take our beers, but then they changed their minds when this whole Corona thing started, and said they wanted to help us. So they took 3 or 4 of our main supermarket beers in there, and that had helped us a lot. But at the same time, we are in a little bit of a difficult situation because we divided the brewery teams in 2, so we don't get everyone infected at the same time if someone gets sick in there. So it's hard because we've been having to brew almost full capacity, or at least package this stuff that has been brewed before with only half of the team. And we had vacations planned that is still have to happen. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble once the coronavirus comes down. And basically it's been 10, 12 hours days all the time. We work one team works 1 week, and then the other week stays home and the other team comes and work. Stressful. It's been very stressful, but not complaining. At least some of the beer that we had is moving. The cans are moving. The kegs are stuck in there, but yeah, not as bad as it could be.
How is the situation in Germany?
Pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same what Cleber just said. we caked or canned like 180 hectoliters in the end of March. And all of a sudden, every country, everything got shut down. And it's a scary situation, basically, especially for us. Like, we are still gypsies, so we're trying to find a space where we live to build our own brewery. And so the problem is what we have when we brew, we have to pay the invoice right away. So, and then we have to sell the beer, and until we get our money, it'd be like 6 to 8 weeks. So that's a scary situation, basically. And so, but on the other hand, we're pretty lucky that once we can, or when we stop all the production, we're not producing any costs at all. So for us, it's easier to get in that hibernation modus, you know what I mean? Like, stay put and see what happens, than you guys like running a brewery. I mean, you have to produce no matter what. So, and that's the one that's a good and bad side. That's the yin and yang. So, but luckily we have like still selling, and we already managed to get rid of almost everything we got. So we will brew something new next week, smaller batches, not like the capacity we brew normally. It's more than having something coming up, you know, like still be there for the people, that they have some fresh IPAs to drink. It's not that it's making any sense for us. Like, it's just, yeah. But yesterday they decided they will reopen Germany a little bit, or especially the state where we're from. Yeah, it's so for the next 2 weeks, it will be the shutdown will be there and will stay. But from March 3rd on, they will reopen stuff, and they will even allow festivals up to 1,000 people.
Wow!
So,
wow, that's cool.
Step by step. So tourism will be there again. Restaurants will reopen, but like step by step. It's not that everything will be available right away, because I think people will get fucking crazy. So they will do it step by step. And I really, really hope we're back to normal once we hit June. But still, that would mean like we lost like 400 hectoliters or something. It's not cool.
Yeah, spring has been canceled pretty much.
Yeah. But luckily we don't have like 400 kegs in stock. We have like 40. Because all that shit happened when all that shit got down. We were like a week away from canning. So we decided we will put like 90% in cans and just the rest in kegs. And that was a smart idea, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we continue, Marton, there's somebody asking in YouTube that what I'm drinking, and I'm drinking the Olarin Panimo saison with rosemary and sour cherries, because somebody said that it looks really good. Well, it tastes really good as well.
Sounds really good.
But let's continue to Hungary. And what is happening now in Hungary, and what is happening with mad scientists right now?
Well, just like everyone else, our lives have turned really upside down. We've been selling our beers to 18 different countries on a regular basis. Of course, that is gone. Confirmed shipments and confirmed pallets that were about to start the next day, they were canceled immediately. Big orders from local bars have been canceled immediately. Because just like most of the places in Europe, every place should be closed at 3 p.m. So all the bars and the vivid, really just vibrating nightlife of Budapest have been just really gone. So yeah, we found ourselves in a really different situation, just like everyone else. What we first done was sending everyone, like the whole crew, on a paid vacation for a week, just to make sure everybody's safe everybody's relaxed. And then we started to focus on our web shop. We've been really lucky because we started our web shop back in September, and it's been working out really well. And right now, 95% of our orders are coming from B2C local consumers who keep supporting us. So of course, no one can go out to a bar, but they are really supportive, and they keep ordering crazy amount of beers. So I'm really lucky to say that the whole crisis brings out the crazy drinkaholic out of everyone, and it's just normally I'm the kind of guy who supports reasonable drinking. I mean,
Oh yeah, right.
right. So
Yeah.
only-
Yeah.
I'll drink to that.
we've been hanging out a few times, so let's say that I love going out and I love having crazy amount of beers, but when I'm not going out, I try to live a really healthy lifestyle just to make sure I have my life balanced, because
Yin and yang.
if all your nights are Friday nights, then none of your nights are really Friday nights, right? It's just
It gets too boring.
I'm just I can see Oli's face, and I can see that I'm just making this worse and worse. So
That's all good.
let's get back. Let's
Rich
get
will be
back
right.
to the Hungarian situation, and let's just not make this a live broadcast of my nasty drinking habits. So yeah, it's not an easy situation, but we are trying to solve this step by step. And what is really important, we try to keep a really positive attitude. I mean, if we go out of business because of this, we will go out in style. So we keep releasing new beers, and we try to give work to all of the crew. So we haven't fired anyone because of the crisis. So all our brewers are now delivering web shop orders, and the people from the cold side, they are on the packaging side right now. So basically, we are on our way towards a professional web shop and less than a brewery these days. And I'm really proud of our team, because nobody has been really complaining about this. So I see that guys who work on our souring project called MedX, guys with really great knowledge, amazing know-how, they have no problem with just jumping in the car and taking care of deliveries. And those guys are, crazy, brilliant people, masters of their craft. And right now they are just delivery boys, and there's nothing wrong with that. We just try to make the best out of it, and people are really supportive so far. So I can definitely see the light at the end of the tunnel, but just like everyone else, we're in trouble. Yeah.
But
Marton.
there's like no but like Oli said, that there's kind of the situations may be getting better, but in Hungary you don't have any. I mean, there's still some same registrations.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Are you producing the same amount as you had planned?
Oh, no, of course not. We are just rescheduling everything. Right now, we're focusing on our barrel aging products because we don't wish to go out of business when this whole thing is done. So we keep also releasing New England IPAs, but we're just okay. Let's talk about what you have right there.
But I have actually one question, because we're getting some questions from the audience, and there's because Cleber talked about that you have a lot of kegs, and Oli said that you have some kegs as well. So the audience Pedro is asking that, can you bottle or can beers back from the keg to bottle or keg? So can you kind of change the packaging?
Well, technically will be possible, but it's not really a good solution for us or even viable. When the whole crisis happened, like I say, we had 300 kegs in stock, about 10,000 liters of beer. On top of that, we had about 20,000 in the tanks at the brewery. I had her actually make new beer and sell fresh beer to people, then bring beer that is already packaged and is ready to be consumed back and repackage it, incurring the risk of introducing oxygen to the beer that will lower the quality of it. And it's just a loss that we'll have to embrace at some point. And here in Finland basically means that we will have to take those beers back to the brewery from our stock, which is somewhere else, call the authorities, and then pour them in the drain. 300 liters of beer poured in the drain, or 9,000 liters of beer.
Call me.
Well,
Call me.
yeah.
I will take a bath in it.
Maybe, yeah. Last year I already did a beer bath with one batch that was a little bit too much carbonation. Maybe I'll do it again once it's gone. IPA bath this time. We are lucky that we have quite a bit of those beers are sours, and those beers we have 2 years best before right now. So we should be able to still sell a large amount of those, hopefully, if the crisis don't last way too long. But the IPAs, I'm assuming that we're gonna lose all of them.
But other countries, I mean, when you produce like New England IPAs or IPAs, I mean, are they lost? Or can you sell them as crawlers like they do now in Finland in some breweries?
We can. I'm not proud of it. While we also started to do growler fills, because we have some really nice branded 1 liter and 2 liter proper glass growlers, which we're using. We started with 2 taps, and now we upgraded to 7 because this solution has been really popular, and this saved us like really a crazy amount of keg beer. And I'm not really proud of this because we got our canning line. We like producing the tall boy cans, 440 milliliters, and like really fresh releases. But we also went really old school or like really countryside, and we started to feel PET bottles, like plastic bottles, 1 liter versions, and
that's actually traditional in Hungary. If you sell like beer, wine, for example, in the countryside.
Yes, like this is a typical cheap solution, and also the same in Slovakia and the Czech Republic and in the Eastern European region. This is not really a blasphemy. Only a blasphemy for craft beer or the kind of beers we do. But of course, we recommend to drink these beers as soon as possible, and we offer them at a really reasonable price. And our consumers, they appreciate this and they support us because they know that we don't really support consumption like this normally. They just realize that this is our only chance how we can move our kegs. Of course, we try to be like really environmental friendly, and this is not something that we just say in 2000 because it's 2020 and we love to be PC and green, but it's important for us. So from one hand, it's really a disappointment, but on the other hand, people really supportive and they appreciate this, and we don't need to lose our kegs, so it's okay.
Yeah, in our case, what happened was that we had a lot of cans of the same products that we have in kegs. Maybe once we run out of cans, if the beers in kegs are still fine, we may pull some back and do some crawlers. But at the moment, it's better for us to sell the cans. Are there, same product, same batch. There's no point for us to sell the kegs.
How about the legislation in Germany and in Hungary? In Finland, actually, it's illegal to sell crawlers from a pub or tap room. You have to sell that. You have to pack them directly at the brewery. But is it legal in Hungary or in Germany to sell crawlers from like restaurant tap or tap room tap?
Yeah, the problem is that in Germany, every state pretty much decides stuff for themselves. So it can be illegal where I live, but from what I read on the internet, down in southern Germany, a craft beer bar tried to sell growlers and it got forbidden. So out of a window, like roughly no contact. So I think right now, like Marton said, try to do everything environment friendly, green, whatever it is. But on the other side, you gotta rescue your company. You gotta do what you gotta do at the moment. You know, like it's basically a war out there right now. You sit on your stockpile, you can pour your beer away. Wow, that's good. There goes your 10K or 20K or whatever it is. So I think. I mean, we are in Germany really lucky when it comes to alcohol laws. We can do basically whatever we want. I can sell it wherever I want. I can sell it to private people. I can do basically everything. So that's one reason why we're still selling pretty well, like considering the situation we are in. Like it's not even close to what we're doing normally. But right now, for us, online sales, like you said, Marton, are insane. Like really, really, it's even though it's a drop in the ocean, but compared to what we had before, out of this world. Like the support that people show is just right away crazy. So,
and I believe this is the beauty of the whole thing, that apart from the health crisis and the financial crisis, people are really awesome. And of course, the world has never been, right or wrong, black or white, but the feedback and the support we keep receiving from the consumers with every personal collection or with every web shop order is just amazing.
Yeah.
And we can never be thankful enough for this. It's just, just the small words, the gestures, how we can see that they are really spending on our beers because they want us to stay in the business.
That's actually
so that's really uplifting from all the mess.
Yeah, and that is a important point to drive home. Actually, the craft breweries in Finland are kind of a neo phenomenon here. There was a previous wave of craft breweries in the 90s, and a lot of them disappeared, went bankrupt back then. And what is very important is to keep this new wave alive, not only in Finland, but everywhere. But if I can say, like, I need to defend my own turf here, and craft beers in Finland are still starting. Still, a lot of us are really in a not very stable financial situation. Still have invested a lot of money into building the operation and growing. So this crisis put a lot of us in risk. That coupled with the restrictions that we have here in Finland about selling beer to people, like we can sell directly, but only if the customer comes to the brewery to pick it up. That puts a lot of strain. Like on our own case, CoolHead, we had about 50% of our sales to bars, and that disappeared all of a sudden. And we've been lucky that we managed to get into the new supermarket chain. And also, like you guys, we see a huge increase of online sales and direct sales, like twice or triple the amount that we had before, which is really helping. But yeah, it's important to support all the craft breweries, like all the local business, especially the bars. Like we have our own craft beer bar, Panema, and
Good place. In there, drink some.
yeah, and it's even harder for them because the bars have been ordered to close, and there's not much for them because basically they can have some direct sales to people that comes and buy from the bar, but most of their sales were from kegs, obviously, and they are left with a huge stock of kegs in some cases, and a very expensive rent that is hard to pay, like central locations, no income, pretty hard.
So there's actually a question here from the audience that, like Cleber said, that it's illegal to. You can order beer from a brewery online shop, but you can't actually deliver that to the consumer. That it is. I think it's legal in Hungary and legal in Germany as well. So you can sell and you can deliver the beer to the customer or the consumer. But do you have any tips for the Finnish breweries how to do that?
We just launched something today called the Son of Sudden Death Supporter Package. It's basically a shirt where it says you're a proud supporter of Sudden Death Brewing, and this shirt with this shirt comes a card, like a membership card, where you can put your own name in, and it's numbered from 1 to how many we sell, we will see. And it costs 99 euros. And that means when you order that one and you show up at any future event, craft beer event, you drink for free at our booth if you have the shirt on and you use that card. So you're not just saying you saved us, you will fucking live in our beer for the rest of your life. But compared to, I mean, like, this is like pay now, drink later kind of stuff. But that's maybe one way. I mean, like, to be honest, I don't know how you guys can handle this without selling to the customer straight away. Like, this is the only reason why we're still there. The online shop. This is like.
I would definitely recommend to start selling merchandise like T-shirts, bottle openers, caps, whatever. So, of course, I get it. You cannot sell alcohol, which is weird in Budapest, but
Germany.
yeah, exactly. But so if you are not allowed to sell alcohol, I would focus on other products, and your consumers will realize that this is a way of support. We have some ideas that we haven't made yet, but we also started like a subscription club for our barrel aging products and so on, where you're not really purchasing the product itself, but you're purchasing a reservation for the future product. But I believe that's still like like paying for alcohol. So that may not be legal in Finland. But again, I would focus on other products because people are sitting at home and they are frustrated about the current situation. And while most of the industries are suffering from the current situation, there are a few that like free from all, like, you know, IT, for example. And those people are getting their full salaries, but they cannot spend it on a Friday night. They cannot go out to a restaurant. They cannot go out to a bar. And I believe they would be happy to help you.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of love from our customers or fans. Like I said, our online sales had double or triple since we started the web shop 3 weeks ago. Uh, Let me just explain a thing for some people it may not be clear. We are actually allowed to sell alcohol online. We are just not allowed to deliver it. So people can buy it, can pay online, but they have to come to the brewery to pick it up in person.
Yes.
That's
Also,
actually super smart.
yeah, exactly. So that limits our reach quite a bit. We can sell, but basically only the people that lives on this region, like I would say half an hour drive or something, will actually buy. More than that is just too far to go to pick a case of beer. The funny thing is, because Finland is in Europe, and the European Union allows you to sell alcohol online, as far as I understand, we can set up a web shop and sell beer abroad and ship it to wherever in the European Union, any country. And people in Finland have been buying beer from abroad and receiving it to their doorsteps, but we cannot sell ourselves and deliver inside Finland.
Yes, even you can sell Finnish products. If you deliver the Finnish product to Estonia, for example, sell them from the Estonian web shop, then they can deliver it at your home. But if you're selling from a Finnish brewery, then you have to pick it up. Well, you don't have to pick it up. Anybody who's over 18 can pick it up for you, actually. But this is the situation in Finland. But if we go back to the international situation, there's a question from the audience that says that if you have these kegs of Napa, I'm sorry, I have to. Attila, Attila. Excuse me, that's my son. So if you have like kegs of, for example, Napa, all these other products, how long they can, stay? If the isolation is over by June, can you save them, or are they, ruined already?
So for us, what we see with the beer is a curve. So when you brew the beer and you package it, sometimes it's a little bit too fresh. So the character of the beer will improve a bit in the first week or two after its packaging. And then you eventually reach the top quality. And after that, you will start to lower. So depending on how long the crisis, the bars are closed, it may be past the point where the beer is best. So we will just, even though it's still good alcohol, it may not represent the beer anymore. So we had to choose to throw it away than sell a product that is actually not up to our quality standards. So it will just depend on how long the crisis lasts. On the case of the sours that we make a lot, or high ABV beers, imperial stouts, whatever, the curve is a lot longer. So you have a much more time where you can sell the beer and it's still top quality. But the IPAs, they have a short, intense life. So they will just spike and then they will go down. And if they're past the best, we just cannot sell it.
That's why we stopped producing in March, just because we don't know if we can sell it fresh enough in April. So that's why we will restart brewing next week, and then hopefully everything is roughly back to normal. So we have some fresh IPAs, yeah. But otherwise, Cleber's right. It's like it's peaking, and it's 4-6 weeks. After that, I'm not feeling good selling my kegs to any other pub, because it will take like a week until it's there. It's another 2 or 3 weeks until a tap is ready. So then it's like 3 months old. Like 3 months old New England IPA is basically shit.
Does not represent the beer anymore. Does not represent your brand.
I'd rather throw it away than sell it.
Yeah,
I don't care. It's
exactly.
hurting us more. It's hurting us more name-wise than financially. Then
Yeah.
on the long haul, you know, like.
How about in Hungary? Are you? I mean, you doing more sours and barrel aged products now? Because they're, I mean, easier kind of to sell in the long run now.
Actually, we just released a New England IPA, and what we've done, we separated the batch. We usually plan the 2,000 liter batch, but we just separated and we gave them different dry hopping. So instead of releasing just one new release, we released 2 new beers with the different hops, and people just loved that release, and we sold it out in a few days. I don't want to say anything that's not the right number, but I believe we sold out in 3 or 4 days, and that was.
Cheers to that.
And it was a really amazing release. It's one of our highest rated New England IPA pair ever. Of course, some people have some opinion on it, because of course you don't need to be necessarily a fanboy of Sabro hops or NZL 32 experimental hops, but the overall reaction from the market has been just really amazing, because I believe people are not always that supportive with us on Untapped, but then I know some breweries from Finland who are seriously underrated on Untapped. So I just let's quit the Untapped talk. What I'm saying right now, that people
Don't get me even started.
No.
And what about that?
We already had this conversation like in real life previously.
Yeah.
So let's just not get into this. I mean, I know Oli is a huge fan of Untapped, and I just don't want to hurt his feelings.
Supporter. Supporter.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Oli, do you remember a festival where we've been at and there was another brewer rating your beers on Untapped?
Love it.
I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Anyway, what I'm trying to say with this, that people are really supportive, and while our latest New England IPAs have been also really great, according to my opinion, I'm also seriously thinking it's a way of support. Like, okay, you guys are in trouble, the whole industry is trouble. This is a nice release. I will rate them higher.
What then? I heard that, I mean, a lot of breweries actually are doing like more sours, more barrel-aged stuff, more stuff that actually is, staying fresh for a longer time. But what do you think, what's going to happen now? I mean, what's the consuming behaviors? Is it going to change, that people are going to stay more at home drinking, buying beer from the brewery web shop, or from the brewery or tap rooms, and are they going to more drinking at home, or is the situation
after the main wave of infection is gone?
After the isolation, are they going to? Is consumer behavior going to change, or is the situation that when the restaurants are open, everybody just rush the restaurants and events? What do you think?
I think it's going to be 50-50. Of course, there is going to be a lot of people that just can't wait to go out and have a beer sitting in the bar, me included. But there's also the people that are still going to need to be careful because they are in the risk group, or because they have someone that is close to them that is still vulnerable to that. Because I believe the government is going to eventually allow, like they are doing in Germany, allow the bars and events to start happening again. But that is going to be far from the end of the corona infection, because they basically just want to keep the thing under control. So there's going to be more people getting sick all the time for a year, maybe even longer. So there's going to be, in my opinion, a different world after this first wave is gone. Like the bars will have to keep more space between people. There's going to be less people on the bars in events in general because, well, there's just so much people that are willing to take the risk and they are kind of confident they are not going to die from that.
I think it will last until we have some medicine. From that point on, I think basically everything will be back to normal, because when everybody feels safe, humans act like humans. They want to go out. So, or the other side is, once that whole panic bubble is burst and we have more knowledge and we have more numbers and more stuff and we feel a little bit safer, I think people will be back in the pubs and bars. Because like if you look at Sweden, they have a complete different way to attend that whole stuff, and like Germany or Hungary or Finland or whatever it is. And from what I just read, basically last couple of days, is that people get less scared because the numbers are higher because they don't test so much. So since they test more and more and more, numbers like death numbers are going, or like the death rate will go down and down and down. So I think basically in the end, especially when there is a medicine, right away back to normal, because
the
people
problem
are
is
hungry for that stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Never heard that. Wow, that's an original one.
What is Marton thinking?
I would love to think that of course people will rush to bars and they will rush to live rock and roll shows, because I'm seriously missing like checking out one or two shows at least a week, punk, rock and roll, metal, whatever. But I would love to think that we will be able to maintain at least 50% of our B2C webshop orders. Because if you started this, you will keep on, because you realize it's a much better way to get beers fresh and directly from
directly from the brewery.
Like there are several web shops in Hungary right now selling beers. I'm just not really sure if they have a cold storage. So all our beers in the brewery are stored under the right circumstances, and if you order our beers in the morning in Budapest, our guys will deliver them in the afternoon. So the beers don't get the chance to be ruined. And if you live on the countryside, we can deliver on the next working day. So again, there's no serious issue with the freshness of the beers. And I believe people will realize this, the importance of being in direct touch with the breweries. And of course, just one more second, Oli. And of course, we are not a professional web shop, and we are not professionals in the e-commerce business. I mean, if we wanted to be businessmen, we would never start a brewery, right? So
it's no good business, yeah.
we will never be the most perfect people in the e-commerce industry, but that doesn't matter because we have the soul, and of course, if there's a broken bottle or a leaking can, we will send the consumers a new one. We don't really care about how much we're losing on this, and people will appreciate this. And right today we received a really awesome feedback from one of our customers. Like we forgot to pack something in their package, and they were like, "I'm just writing to let you know that it was forgotten." and I'm not mad at you at all. Mistakes can happen, and I just writing to let you know that I don't need it. Like, please consider it as my support. I mean, there is no other industry where this might happen. I mean, I know a few things about e-commerce industry because I used to work there for 4 miserable years, and I've never seen. I used to be responsible for more than 10 web shops in 4 different countries, and I've never seen anything like that before.
On that, I actually need to thank our supporters, because on the first and second weeks of our web shop being open, I was there packing the orders, and there was a lot of them. And I think I forgot to put products, or I put the wrong products in like 5, 6, 10 different orders. Sorry about that. I'm not really a pro on that, but we are getting better. We have some guys now dedicated to that, and I have to say, they are doing a much better job than me. We addressed all the complaints, and if you had any issue with any deliveries that we sent to you or we packaged, let me know. We'll fix it.
I think, I mean, there's some like really positive things about this. One is that people are actually starting to appreciate more the craft breweries' work, and they realize how much work and passion there are behind the beers. And the other one is actually the web shop, even in Finland. That, I mean, people are realizing that it is actually quite easy to order beer from the web shop, even though in Finland you have to go and pick it up yourself, but still you have the direct you have a direct kind of a contact with the brewery. And I mean, in Hungary and in Germany it's even easier. And in Finland, actually, we have these people who are doing this, that they pick up orders from other consumers, and then they go to the brewery and buy the beers and kind of deliver them to other people. It's not kind of it's not legal, but it's not illegal either. So it's kind of between, I would say. But there's actually a question which is not related to Corona. And it's a really good question as a last question. But there's a question from Robo, that what is your most memorable beer-related moment? So what is your best beer moment? So if we go now to wider things.
Okay. Can we like have a year, because I have so many beer moments that are pretty good. So I have
you don't even remember those moments.
I remember enough.
Best, because I mean, it's good to kind of end our panel with the happy memories and kind of planning the future. We're gonna be having more and more happy beer moments to come when the isolation is ending. So share one of your happiest beer memory. It doesn't have to be the most happy, just one of them. Who's starting?
Marton, start.
It's a really tough one, and so I don't want to say any generic stuff because that wasn't the question. But when I think of the beer industry itself, I think of a bunch of great individuals I would have never met, and I've been a part of the tennis scene because I used to be preparing to be a professional tennis player for 20 years, and I've been playing in bands for like 15 years, so I know a few things about that. And like I've been in so many things, but there is no other industry where I met such amazing guys that is like really making life less miserable. But maybe if I have to think just one moment, I would think of the first Budapest Beer Week. Cleber was there. where we've been working on that with two of my best friends, Peter and Tibor. We've been working on that for 10 months, and we had no idea how it would work out. And it was just so amazing to see how it got together, and people from all around the world started to arrive to Budapest, and we realized that we made something bigger than just a drunken weekend, but something that means a lot to other people. And I know a few people running around with Budapest Beer Week tattoos and so on and so on. So my most memorable moment was when I've seen the doors of the festival open and people started to just come, and in the end of the day we had an almost sold out festival. And yeah, that I'm getting goosebumps while I'm thinking about this, because like even like a week before the festival, uh, we've been in around minus 30,000 euro compared to like what we should get to make sure it's zero. And my car, I'm driving a 20-year-old car, a Saab, that worth like 800 euro. So even if I sold my car, there was no chance we would make it. But in the end, it just all came together really well. And yeah, Budapest Beer Week.
Yeah, that I was actually going to this year, but
I'm sorry, Anikó.
yeah, I'm still really unhappy because our countryside cabin is because I'm Hungarian. It's in Hungary, so but now we are shut down from Hungary. So
yeah, next year we're postponing Budapest Beer Week to next year. So
yeah.
Next year we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. So how about Oli? One of your member beer moments.
I can't decide. It's basically like we've like last year we got invited to Timișoara Haze Fest, like Marton knows, Hop Hooligans and Biretta, and I wasn't expecting anything at all. Like, what can you expect? You know, like, so, and it was not like the most packed festival or whatever it was, but like, man, people and all the, like Martin said, the guys from the industry, it was such a friendly, loving festival. It was unreal. Met super nice guys. Like Søren took over DJ part Drambutter. It was hilarious. So that was probably one of my best weekends last year. My favorite and funniest beer thing is not even related to craft beer. it happened in Helsinki, and it was out, like there's that German bar, that weird bar, and our distributor dancing on that table in that weird German bar. As a German, it's even weirder because it was not even close to what we have in Germany. It was a madhouse, but it was fun to see.
So
How come you're feeling?
Yeah,
Jonas deserves a major shout out for that, right?
oh yeah, you know, it's AKA the Bumsemaschine. I love him.
So Cleber, how about you?
Yeah. Well, first
He's riding me.
I just need to say I'm pretty sad for all the festivals that have been canceled this year, because some of my best beer moments have been beer festivals, like those guys also, and we had been invited to so many cool beer festivals all over the place this year, and well, none actually happened. Let's hope things will turn to the best in a year or next year or by the end of this year. Let's see. But the very best, or actually one that came to mind when I think about that, is probably one of the first international beer festivals that we've been invited. We were still kind of fresh on the craft beer scene, and we are trying to fulfill the CoolHead mission that I set with Pietari when CoolHead was still like 6 months old. And we visited a beer festival in the UK and noticed that there was no Finnish brewing there, while there was breweries from all over the place and all over Scandinavia. So we decided at that point that CoolHead's mission was to put Finland on the craft beer world map. And about 2 years ago, it was the first moment that we realized that we were starting to fulfill the mission. When we were invited to Villaggio della Birra in Italy. And it was such a big thing for us. Like, it's a traditional beer festival in a very cool place. It's a village in countryside Italy. And back then we just decided, okay, let's go, all of us. So we rented a villa over there, and we bought tickets for the whole brewery team, and we flew there, and we had a blast of a weekend there. It was really awesome. And yeah, that's really stuck to my mind, and is a moment that really made a mark for us. Cheers.
Oh, thank you guys. I mean, all these moments were so good and reminded me of the old world, I would say. Well, we all hope that it's coming back soon. For all the participants, all the people who are watching this, please, if you have any comments or any benchmark or any, everything you wanna say, just post it on the event page on Facebook, or then post it on CoolHead's Facebook, because we need some feedback on this panel, because we are planning to do more of these panels, because I think this is a really cool and interesting way to get, we are very close to each other now, so we can talk about international things and give us each other support. Thank you all the guests. Thank you, Cleber.
Thank you. I can always use a reason to drink more beer.
Yes, thank you, Ollie from Southern Brewing, Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you, Marton from Mad Scientist, Budapest, Hungary.
Thank you so much. Just one last thing. I've been doing these Zoom drinking events with some of the brewers already, and with some friends. And I need to tell you that I just cannot wait for this whole coronavirus thing to be over, because like during these Zoom online drinking events, I drink a lot, and of course I don't need to worry about getting home or just like to behave. But since I drink on my own pace, this is really dangerous. So, like, fingers crossed, this will soon be over, and we can have the very same conversations in real life as we used to have them. So cheers for that.
Cheers for that, and let's hope we all gonna meet in the autumn already.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.